big the microphone. Issue currently. We just discovered a buzz which wasn't here a moment ago. So if you could give us just a moment or two, we'll try to figure this out. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, how are you? Anything I say cannot be used. Plug it in.
It is plugged in. That is just to motorize you up and down. Yeah. Slow down. That fix it or no?
Hey Spence, you ought to be up here.
Sorry, this issue wasn't here a moment ago. Just, you can probably hear it in the background.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Most days I don't.
It wasn't
It's
here.
probably better for me.
It wasn't here 30
So
seconds
talk
ago,
about
and
me.
now
It's
all of a
fine,
sudden.
don't worry about it.
Thank you all for your patience. We're dealing with an audio issue currently. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, ma'am, give me 5 more seconds, please.
How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm waiting.
Exciting.
Everybody good? Ma'am, whenever you're ready.
Oh, you got it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. I told you I don't hear. All right. I want to thank you all for being here today. Today we're going to announce the names of 2 individuals who are being charged with a series of assaults and attempted carjacking in a highly publicized case where 2 young men were brutally assaulted and stomped, highlighting the need for accountability among young offenders in the district. This case underscores the escalating challenges that we face in confronting crime in Washington, D.C. On August 3rd of 2025, at about 2:53 a.m. Sunday morning at the U Street corridor and 14th Street, which is a very popular hangout, a nightlife area, essentially, Ethan Levine, a 22-year-old, and several of his friends were standing outside a Sunoco gas station. They were approached by a large group of teens, individuals who confronted them and began to assault them. Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Korestein, a 19-year-old DOGE person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. Approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did, he pushed the young woman into the car. And he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects, who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, They demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car. They were banging on the car. They were pulling the car door, trying to get the car open, and were telling the woman in the car to hand over the keys. And the woman was, as I said, able to lock the car door, so they were unable to gain entry. And it was fortuitous that someone from the Metropolitan Police Department was on patrol. He happened to pull onto the block, and he witnessed the suspects actually assaulting Corstine, who was on the ground lying next to the car. The juveniles fled, but within a short period of time, two 15-year-olds were arrested, and they were taken into the family court by the Attorney General's office. That is the local Attorney General's office. Now, I think what's significant about this case is the history of Lawrence Cotton Powell. I want you to follow me on this. Lawrence Cotton Powell is 19 years of age. He's now charged with robbery, first-degree robbery, for which he faces 15 years in prison. He also faces a charge of assault with intent to commit robbery, and another 15 years. And robbery for Edward Corstine, 15 years. Assault with intent to commit robbery, another 15 years. And attempted carjacking, 5 years. Now, let me tell you his background. On April 3rd of this year, Lawrence Cotton Powell was sentenced for a felony attempted robbery. My office asked for jail time. Judge McLean, a judge sitting in the criminal part in Superior Court with no criminal background, made a decision to give Cotton Powell probation in spite of his conviction on a felony attempted robbery. Within 31 days, by May 4th, Powell reoffends. He's rearrested while he's on probation from the felony, and he's charged with simple assault and possession of a prohibited weapon B. On May 4th, my office asked that probation be revoked. But on May 16th, that same Judge McLean comes back and releases Cotton Powell and tells him basically, be a good boy. On July 24th, he is sentenced to one of the two misdemeanors that he's charged with. Again, my office asked for jail time after he victimized yet another person. And on July 25th, another judge suspends his sentence and decides that he should be on probation. So after a felony of attempted robbery conviction, after a violation of probation, after a second crime, after a second conviction, after no compliance with C. Sosa, the judges say do better and they let him go. And guess what? Within 10 days, he's at it again with Ethan Levine and Edward Corstine. Now, the co-defendant in this case is an individual by the name of Anthony Taylor. He charged also with the same arrest. He is with the same crimes. He is from Maryland. He is 18 years old. We are unaware of any history as it relates to him. I want to thank the Metropolitan Police Department. I want to thank the fact that this department went above and beyond and worked incredibly hard with the little evidence that we had to identify two of the perpetrators that we're going to be able to prosecute in criminal court. And I want to mention and thank the chief, and I also want to thank Mayor Bowser for her assistance in helping us. This is a coordinated effort by all of us. I also want to thank the Marshals who are here, and they'll be speaking to you in a minute. But I again urge the D.C. Council to reconsider those trilogy of laws that allow Washington, D.C. to allow these young people to go out and victimize, re-victimize, and keep re-victimizing and putting the safety of the citizens who live, work, and visit here at risk. And I ask them to stand up finally and send a clear message, because the people of this district deserve no less than safety. So I want to call upon the police chief, Pamela Smith, to say a few words.
Thank you, Judge Pirro. Good afternoon. I'm Pamela A. Smith, Chief of Police for the Metropolitan Police Department. I'm joined today by Commander Kevin Kentish of our Criminal Investigations Division and Detective Thomas O'Donnell of the Carjacking Task Force. The Metropolitan Police Department is proud to stand alongside our partners at the United States Attorney's Office and the United States Marshals Service in announcing 2 additional arrests in the attempted carjacking of Mr. Edward Corstein. This is the latest example of the continuous partnerships between our agencies and our collective community commitment to removing individuals who harm our communities out of our community. It is because of the swift response of our officers, 2 suspects were immediately arrested after the offense occurred. Since the morning of August 3rd, detectives assigned to the Metropolitan Police Department Carjacking Task Force have worked tirelessly with all of our partners to identify and apprehend the 2 outstanding suspects. Just minutes before the attempted carjacking on Swan Street, both of these suspects were involved in a robbery just a few blocks away from U Street. This behavior is indicative of what we see time and time again. A small group of suspects committed a series of violent crime offenses in a very short period of time. These arrests send a very strong message to our community. If you commit violent acts in our community, you will be found, you will be held accountable, and you will face justice. Together, we will continue to work tirelessly to ensure our neighbors and our communities that you remain safe and that those who threaten the safety will be held accountable. I'd also like to thank Judge Pirro and her team for working alongside the Metropolitan Police Department for getting this case to where it is today. I'd also like to thank Mayor Muriel Bowser, who has also been very, very supportive of public safety in this city. And since I've been in this space as the chief, she has certainly been a strong supporter and an advocate for what we need to do in this city to drive down crime. And lastly, the members of the Metropolitan Police Department, the Carjacking Task Force, and our detectives who every single day go out there and investigate those crimes to ensure that our citizens and our communities feel safe. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it back over to Judge Pirro.
All right, and now I'd like to call Don Schneider up from the U.S. Marshals.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chief Inspector Don Snyder. I am the commander of the Capital Area Regional Fugitive Task Force with the United States Marshals Service. I also have Superior Court United States Marshal Tony Dixon with me. The mission of the Cardiff is to reduce violent crime and enhance public safety through the investigation and apprehension of violent fugitives. So fugitive investigations can be complex and are often inherently dangerous. Deputy U.S. Marshals and law enforcement officers across the country place the communities they serve before themselves when investigating and apprehending violent fugitives. Ensuring the service of justice for citizen victims can be extremely costly. We work closely at the Cardiff in D.C. with the Metropolitan Police Department. Our partnership is strong. It is the case in this investigation. So in the fugitive business, we regularly ask ourselves 2 very important questions. How do we manage risk to the community, to law enforcement, and to the offender when attempting to conduct a safe arrest operation? And how does law enforcement with limited resources and personnel best mitigate the risk of violent crime in our communities? So through high quality constitutional law enforcement, strong investigations and prosecutions, righteous convictions, and sentences of consequence, holistic mitigation of violence also requires organizations in the community to provide opportunities for growth and positive engagement with families and our youth. Over the past 75 days, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force has arrested over 4,700 offenders, seizing over 460 illicit firearms during these arrests. Violent crime is down across the city. Our mission at the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force is to end crime in America's capital, making it the safest city in the nation. Law enforcement and National Guard are doing our best to do our part. Now we need everybody to come together and work together to eliminate violence in the district for good and provide families and our youth with opportunities to thrive. The DC Safe and Beautiful Task Force is an absolutely wonderful thing. It's the greatest partnership in modern history of law enforcement and National Guard coming together to make a community safe. And we are here to stay. It's one badge, one fight, make DC the safest and most beautiful city in America. where citizens of all DC communities are provided with the unlimited opportunity to thrive. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Tony Dixon. I'm the United States Marshal for the Superior Court here in the District of Columbia. As you've heard said, first of all, let me thank Judge Pirro, United States Attorney Pirro. I want to thank Chief of Police Pamela Smith and all of her colleagues. And I also want to thank Mayor Bowser for the continued cooperation and collaboration that we have in partnerships to address these types of matters. As you've seen and as you have heard, this effort is indicative of what can happen and what does happen when we collaboratively interact to bring justice in the District of Columbia. That said, we can do it better with the assistance of the community. And with that in mind, I implore and I invite the community to assist us in our efforts, our collaborative efforts, to make this a safer and a more unified and peaceful city. We can do it with your help, and only with your help can it be as successful as possible. That said, I want to thank you all for what you have done and continue to do. I want to thank the colleagues here. And again, I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office and our collaborative relationship with the Metropolitan Police. Thank you.
And with respect to the collaborative relationship, I think you all know that this is something that President Trump brought to the district in his desire to make D.C. safe and beautiful. The number of arrests, the number of convictions, the number of charges are all reflective of a cooperative effort, and they're making a difference in the district. Now, any questions? Yes.
Hi there, Olivia George with the Washington Post. Thanks for having us. You mentioned that this 18 and 19-year-old and the two 15-year-olds that were sentenced last week were part of a larger group.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you've identified any of the other individuals, and if so, how old they are and when we could expect news of others.
Well, I'm glad you asked the question. The investigation is continuing. We continue to take these cases and move it forward. We're not going to be happy until we get every person who was involved in the assault on these two individuals, and we continue to do that. Make no mistake that is a priority for everyone who's standing behind me right now. Two of the 15-year-olds, as you know, have been released. Their case is closed. Our case has been put over for a preliminary hearing, I believe, I believe it's November 6th. But we expect that there will be more who will be identified and arrested. I think that what you can see here, these two defendants here are stomping on Edward Levine. You can see that there is a sneaker there. They're taking his shoes from him. And this was what Edward Cortesine looked like. These are severe beatings with some severe injuries, hospitalizations by both victims. And the most stunning part of all this is they happened within minutes of each other. And we know that this same group moved from one assault to the next assault. And we are continuing to investigate with these phenomenal investigators in police department to find out where they went next. And we will. Of that, I have no question.
You said that these arrests are evidence that these individuals will be held accountable and will face justice. Your officers repeatedly arrested this individual, gave the evidence to the prosecutor's office that used it to repeatedly ask that he be detained, and then he reoffended multiple times. Is that being held accountable? And is there frustration among law enforcement that they're not being held accountable despite your office's repeated efforts to provide the necessary evidence to your office?
When you say that he reoffended at what point?
Well, the misdemeanor in May, that he reoffended while he was out.
But the chief is not responsible for what judges do.
No, that's what I'm asking. Is there
Go.
frustration that there's not accountability despite the effort your officers continue to put in?
Let me say this. I think everyone in this room knows the amount of times we have rearrested the same individuals over and over and over again. Today's message is not new. Of course, it's frustrating for my police officers. Every single day, the expectation of this city is that they go out and police, right? And then when they keep arresting the same individuals over and over and over again, it's offensive to me. I have to sit through crime briefings Monday through Friday. We see some of the same faces over and over and over again. And when I talk about the accountability piece, that is certainly in partnership with our U.S. Attorney's Office. Make no mistake about it. Judge Pirro, as we present these cases, her office is working collaboratively with us, and she is doing what we have expected the process to do when it comes to our criminal justice system, and that is when we arrest individuals for violent crimes, that they are presented in court and that they are held accountable. When it comes to that piece, of course, I'm not a judge and I'm certainly not an attorney, but I do applaud our officers who continue every single day in this same effort. But there has to be some kind of relief, and there has to be a clear message to members and community that we're not going to continue to tolerate this. And there has to be a juvenile justice system and a justice system that are going to hold these folks accountable.
Do you back the judge's request to the council that they rescind those 3 particular pieces of legislation?
Now you know I'm not a politician,
Well,
and my position as the chief of police is to always to remain apolitical. Any legislation that is proposed by Mayor Bowser, clearly I support the mayor's presentation to the council. In collaboration with the mayor, there are things that my office presents to the mayor and team with respect to what we'd like to see with regards to legislation that will help our officers police safer in our city.
Chief, I just read the charging document for Taylor. It's 23 pages long and very extensive and shows multiple pictures of the beatings. But what's extraordinary is that Taylor was arrested hours after Ornstein was beat up, and his photo was taken. And that seems to have been the key to the case here. I don't know if Commander Kendish wants to talk about it, but how long did it take to connect Taylor with that photograph of that arrest, with all of the surveillance photos that you had and video that you had, to finally, because it looks to me as if it was his clothing and his face, obviously, that connected the dots.
And Paul, I appreciate you for asking that question. As you know, all of that is a part of the investigation, and that's what the judge and her team will present in court, the timeline and how those things panned out.
Can you talk about the work that the detectives did on that?
Well, I think the detectives have done an extensive work. I think Judge Pirro has said they've worked tirelessly. I've said they have worked tirelessly. And in the question that the Washington Post reporter asked was that, are there others? We will continue to work and throw everything that we have at this particular, in all of our cases. This isn't just, as you notice, we have this case, we have that case. They're working this entire case.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
Attempted carjacking.
thank you. But President Trump said last week that he was disappointed that you were disappointed with the sentencing of the other individuals that
Of the 15-year-olds by the family court? Well, without even asking you to be specific, we have long believed that it's time to lower the age of criminal responsibility. It's time that we get 15-year-olds who are part of this gang into the criminal justice system so that we have a record of who they are. So we start to incarcerate them. This is a problem. They go to family court, they get released, and then they get probation, and that's the end of it. How many times they go through there before I get to them is amazing. If you could look, and I'm not talking about this case, if you could look at the history of a lot of these offenders, when I first get them, how many times they've been in family court, you would be furious, as I am most days.
were you disappointed though by the actual charges that you were able to bring? Had you intended to bring carjacking?
I bring charges that are consistent with the evidence, the facts, and the law. It's not about being disappointed. I mean, I only go as far as the law allows me to go. And it's attempted carjacking. They didn't get the car. She was in the vehicle. She didn't give them the keys. They weren't able to get in. But, I mean, this is an attempt to robbery 1, along with the assault in pursuance of a robbery. I mean, this is assault with the intent to commit a robbery. These are serious crimes, 15 years for each.
Related to this, last week, did you fire a prosecutor in your office, Liz Alloy, and did it have anything to do with the Ed Forrest case?
I don't talk about personnel issues in a press conference. What else?
Tell us where these two are. I know Taylor went through court, Superior Court already. When was Taylor arrested, and where is Powell? Is he in Maryland?
No, they're both, where are they? They're both detained. They're in. They are now residents of the taxpayers.
When were they arrested?
Were they arrested? Friday?
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. Okay.
Where they were arrested? Maryland?
Thursday and Friday.
One was arrested in Maryland. The one who lives in Maryland. So we had to go across state lines to get him. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I ask an off-topic question?
No.